Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I guess it looks like pretty much of anything, really chilling back for a while since after my time at Retro GameCon Spring Edition this year, which, yeah, it was a whole lot of fun, and don't worry, I'll have all the stuff on that, including my vlog and everything on that said convention up on my channel pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, I've decided to have pretty much as my way to treat myself the day after that said convention, and I got back all of my energy for sure. I might as well get myself back in with, of course, the newest movie that just came out not too long ago, and boy, it was actually well worth it. So yeah, I guess it looks like pretty much since last time when I talked about Sinners for sure, I think for today's movie we're going to be talking about here today, we're actually going to stay in the horror side of things for sure. But for this movie we're going to be talking about, this one is actually rather quite interesting for me to actually mention for sure. Why, you may ask? Well, this latest movie that I got the chance to see actually follows through a certain horror franchise. Yeah, I know, quite a whole lot actually. Except this one actually pretty much gives off the answer to the one question that we all have in mind for sure. And that being, of course, what would happen if you tried to cheat death? Yeah. That's pretty much the average everyday question that we're faced with for sure. So yeah, and I really do mean that when I actually say for sure, because, well, in regards to today's movie we're going to be talking about, I think it would pretty much showcase the answer to that said question for sure. And if it doesn't, then I don't know what will for sure. So yeah. And I think I might have actually gotten that for sure because, well, I think I might have may or may not have a simple premonition that pretty much something like this may happen. Though I can't fully guarantee it, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, but of course, if anything, given to what I've actually said, that's of course what we're going to be talking about here today. So yeah, I guess if anything, we might as well get ourselves thinking, actually try to see if we can actually cheat death for sure with today's movie that we're going to be talking about here today, which is none other than Final Destination Bloodlines. So yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also the latest installment in the well-known horror franchise that's been around for quite some time, which is of course Final Destination. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, so before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I makes sense to actually talk about my history with the Final Destination movies as a whole for sure. Now, to be fair, I have known, of course, some horror movie franchise that's been around for quite some time now for sure. Many of which have actually gotten some pretty awesome premises that I could easily follow through hands down. But when it comes to the Final Destination movies, oddly enough, I actually do recall, of course, these movies popping up once every few years for sure, but seeing how I was too young to actually see any horror movies around the time they all came out for sure, I think I barely missed out. Yeah, I think I didn't. Yeah, I think I always miss out on them for sure because, well, I was not the right age for them. But, of course, years later, I did manage to finally check out the previous 5 Final Destination movies that came out beforehand, and you know what I said, that pretty much horror movies do have interesting premises that could be nice to follow? Well, Final Destination actually does have a pretty interesting premise when it comes to all 5 of them for sure. And that being, of course, answering the question on what would happen if you actually cheat death. So yeah, I know it's not really as a grand scale as plenty of other horror movies that came out for sure. But the Final Destination movies, for while the movies themselves does kind of vary in different reactions for sure, whether it be pretty much people who actually like them, people don't, or just somewhere in between. There's no doubt in my mind that it does have a interesting premise that does give all sorts of a variety to it, hands down. So yeah, and that's pretty much what I got when I finally got to check out the first 5 films in its entirety. So yeah, and the funny thing is that I was actually going to talk about pretty much the first 5 films in its own separate video pretty much years beforehand, but I seem to have gotten way too distracted and focused on other things in order for me to do that, but don't worry, I'll definitely get around to them later on for sure. Maybe as like something I'll do right around as a nice little Halloween video coming up, but we'll have to wait and see, so yeah, but I did manage to view all 5 of these films beforehand, and I did have different reactions towards them. The first film I kind of thought was actually pretty decent for sure. I never really actually cared, nor even have any interest in the second film by far. The third film, while a little better, is kind of the same thing on what I thought of the first film, hands down. Yeah, I absolutely hate the fourth film, hands down, and I guess for the 5th one, yeah, I can make the argument that it is definitely the best one so far, so yeah, that's pretty much my reaction towards the Final Destination movies as a whole for sure. For all I can't necessarily say it's my all-time favorite horror movie franchise for what it is. In fact, if anything, I think it's somewhat a little bit on par, like, say, the Saw movies, for example, but just probably, I guess, a little bit better than Saw, hands down, but I digress, so yeah, but I really do like the nice premise that each of these movies actually give for sure, and I do love the nice variety they actually put into them by far, so yeah, not necessarily my all-time favorite horror movie franchise to get through by far, but I can definitely stomach them just fine for sure, so yeah. But I guess given to that thought, I was actually quite curious to see if this new one that just came out not too long ago will definitely compare to the other films that came out beforehand, and well, luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in to officially go and see this movie earlier today by the time I'm recording this, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, and well, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, if you think why I actually said that Final Destination 5 was the pretty much the best one out of all these movies so far, I'm not kidding when I actually say it. This movie actually tops the fifth film altogether because, let me tell you, this movie was impressive. So yeah, I really do mean that when I actually saying for sure. I think I actually did find this film absolutely impressive and very entertaining all the way, but it also really does know how to keep the love and the spirit and actually pretty much keep up with the simple premise of course, the earlier films, but also mixing up a bit to actually make it new and relevant by far. And for what it is, this movie really accomplished that by far, and I really enjoyed every minute of it for sure. So yeah, I think you can pretty much get the idea, of course, that front. Yeah, I guess you can tell I really enjoyed this movie for sure. So yeah. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I think for what it is compared to the other films, the story in this movie is actually very, it's actually structured out very well for sure. I really do mean that when I say there is a really great sense of pretty much some really great inventive ideas they've actually done with, of course, this movie for sure. And for what it is, I really do think they laid it out very well for sure. Again, keeping up with, of course, on what the other films actually did beforehand, but also mixing up a bit to bring in something new and creative into all of it, hands down. And I really do think this movie accomplished that pretty well for sure. So yeah, I knew right away that once I get myself into it, I think for many parts, yeah, it does play out like you would expect for, well, a Final Destination movie for sure. But I really do like the ways they actually change things up a bit, but also still keeping fresh and relevant at the same time, but still acknowledge on what has happened in the other films, hands down. So yeah, that's how much I really do think the story in this movie really played out for sure. And I really do think they did a really incredible job with what he actually did for sure. So yeah, and not only that, I also found the writing in this film as another aspect I should talk about. I do find the writing in this film to also be very creative at the same time. Like, you can tell that pretty much the people who crafted this movie altogether through its screenplay really knew what they were doing to really make this look and sound great by far. And I really do think they really did an incredible job with what they did with the writing for sure. It is actually structured out very well and very written very nicely as well for sure. So yeah, either way, I really do think they did an incredible job with the writing for sure. And I can tell there is a really strong amount of effort being put into it for sure. And I really do think they accomplished that quite well. So yeah, I think it's what I can say for the story and the writing pretty much for this movie for sure. Yeah, I guess it pretty much does play on what you would expect for a Final Destination movie. But I really do like the ways they really mix things up a bit to really make it fresh and relevant at the same time. And I think they did an incredible job with those two aspects for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure. And that being, of course, next up is, of course, the characters. And yeah, sometimes I think when it comes to the characters in all these movies, yeah, they do kind of play out on what you expect for any other characters in any horror movies for sure. So yeah, but when it comes to the characters in this movie as a whole, honestly, to me, I really do think they really did an incredible job with, of course, the characters in, of course, this movie for sure. I really do think they really pulled off a lot of great development by far to make the characters incredibly likable for sure. And I really do like what they actually did. They're given such great development that I not only follow through on what they were going through, but also understand, of course, how they're going to get out of a situation to which actually makes them likable and interesting, in my opinion. So yeah. And I know that's saying a whole lot compared to the characters in the other 5 films that came out beforehand. But I really do like what they actually did with the characters by far, because when you actually see them on screen, you actually do get to know them and understand the predicament they're currently going through and how they're going to get out of that said situation alive for sure. So yeah. And I really do like it when really great horror movies actually have some really great characters that we all get to know and actually care for, hands down. And this movie really does have characters that I really do get to know and I really care for, hands down, for sure. So when each and every one of them dies for sure, and trust me, I'll get to that aspect later, you really do feel the impact all the way and understand the pain and anxiety they're going through right now. So yeah, stuff like that in horror movies is something I really do enjoy for sure, and I really do think this movie really accomplished that with the characters for sure. So yeah, that's why I can't speak for that aspect for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind. I think they've really selected a really great cast for, of course, this film. I really do think each and every single one of them actually pulled off some really great performances, in my opinion, and I really do admire their commitment to work around the material that's actually being given to them for sure. Every single line delivery and of course every physical performance they actually do, you really do feel like they really are giving their all to make pretty much the characters great for sure. And all the actors they played by... yeah, and all the actors who played all these characters for sure really nailed it out of the ballpark for sure. That's how much I really do love their performances, hands down. So yeah. And of course, the one thing I will acknowledge is that I can agree that the one big massive standout in this will have to, of course, be, of course, the recurring character in the all the Final Destination movies that came out beforehand, including this one, is, of course, pretty much the late Tony Todd as William Bloodworth. So yeah. I guess, if anything, Tony Todd is, of course, a massive standout by far in not just the previous films that came out beforehand, but I say he's also the massive standout in, of course, this movie in its entirety for sure. I really do think he gave off such a great performance, in my opinion, and yeah, I guess in between pretty much this and Candyman for sure. Well, what am I talking about? They're pretty much the best roles for Tony Todd in general for sure. So yeah, I guess either way, I think pretty much I really do admire Tony Todd's performance in, of course, this movie compared to the last films that he was in beforehand for sure. And I really do think that for this to be the last film that he actually did before his passing right around last year, I say he really is a really great performance to ending off with a massive bang for sure. And I really do admire that for sure. So yeah. I guess either way, that just shows how much I really do admire Tony Todd, of course, this movie for sure. He really portrayed William Bloodworth quite well for sure, especially in the last few films that he was in this franchise for sure. And for this to be made right before his passing last year, I say he definitely picked a really great one to end his time with a massive bang for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say on that front. So Tony Todd, you really pulled off such a great performance, of course, of this movie, and you certainly pretty much ended that on a massive high note, and we really love you for that. So yeah, may you and your incredible talent in horror rest in peace. Yeah, you may be gone, but we will never forget you, Tony Todd. Yeah, I just need a moment of silence to really acknowledge that for sure, but man, it feels great. So yeah, I think, I guess stepping aside from all the sad stuff for now, that's how much I really do love the characters and the actors, and of course, this movie for sure. I really do admire the characters for how likable and interesting they are, and the actors pulled off such really great performances, in my opinion. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot, for sure. So I guess for starters, I guess seeing how this is a horror movie for sure, we should definitely talk about pretty much the two things that come to mind when it comes to horror movies, and that being, of course, the tone and atmosphere. So yeah, I know that's saying a whole lot whenever I cover any movies in this genre in these thoughts videos, but as we all know, when it comes to horror movies, the tone and atmosphere is are basically the two aspects that we definitely need to mention for sure, and this movie is no exception. So yeah, I guess pretty much for anything, the tone and atmosphere in this film, I really do think it's actually played out quite well for sure, and yeah, I think I really do admire what they actually did to really make the tone and atmosphere quite nice for sure. I mean, yeah, I think there might be some parts in it that did kind of derail the flick for a little bit, but it does know how to pick itself back up once again, because, well, because if anything, it really does kind of vary every once in a while for sure, because, well, oh, excuse me, so yeah, whenever something needs to be pretty much calming, upbeat for one aspect, it does know to do exactly that, and I do admire for that. Well, I guess at the same time, the film will also be like, oh yeah, you're watching a Final Destination movie, so oh, excuse me, so yeah, it does kind of vary every once in a while for sure. And again, some parts of it I do kind of think derail the flick in some ways. But again, it does know how to pick itself back up again. And I really do think they really did a fine job with, of course, what it has to do for sure. So yeah. And of course, the death scenes that they actually showed off for sure. Honestly, to me, I really do think they really are very creative with the different amount of deaths that they actually showcase for sure, because whenever someone dies in this film, again, you really do feel the massive impact for sure. And I should know that because when I actually saw this movie, I saw each and every single one of them play out. I think I'm like, oh! So yeah. It does kind of vary, of course, my different reactions, but yeah, you know for the fact that the death scenes are actually very creative, when even I looked at them myself and I'm like, oh! So yeah, that's how impactful this is, hands down, and I really do love how creative they actually did with each and every single one of them, especially with, of course, the different ways pretty much they showed off the amount of blood and gory imagery that actually goes along with each and every single one of them, to which, honestly, to me, I think are actually very creative, hands down, and almost somewhat feels realistic, hands down, for sure. Like, of course, it's not just simple old makeup techniques they actually did, to which, I guess when they actually made this movie, it makes sense for sure, but when you actually see them on screen, they actually do look realistic by far. So yeah, that's how impactful this movie can be for sure, alongside all the other ones that came out beforehand for sure, so yeah, I really do admire what they actually did for sure, to which I will give this movie props for hands down. So yeah, it just goes to show that, well, whenever someone needs to die in these films, death always finds a way to actually make that possible for sure. So yeah, that's what I can say for that aspect for sure. And even the visuals and the effects, I will have to say, are actually nicely done for sure. Like, I really do admire, not just the way they showed off each and every single, pretty much, effect, and of course, each death by far, but you really do feel like you really are in that said predicament, hands down. So yeah, that's how I admire the visuals and the effects in this film. It's actually done very well for sure. So yeah, and of course, pretty much the direction in this film, to which is done by the film's two directors. Honestly, to me, I really do think it is actually very well done for sure, and I do admire the commitment they actually did to really make this movie really great for sure, and it's through pretty much the film's directors pretty much giving off that amount of hard-working effort to really make it great for sure. Yeah, you can definitely see the amount of hard-working effort they actually did for sure to really make it all the more impactful for sure. So yeah, and of course the cinematography in this film, honestly, to me, I really do think it's actually very nicely done with each and every single camera shot that's actually been given for sure. Like, yeah, I think I really do admire what they actually did with of course, the film's cinematography, and yeah, it really does feel like you really are in the action for sure, and I know that experience would be even better because, well, even if you see this movie in IMAX, to which, yeah, I do find it quite interesting they actually filmed this movie in IMAX for sure, but it just goes to show that they really want to make you feel like you really are in, of course, that kind of situation, like our characters for sure, and yeah, I really do love it on what they actually did for sure. So yeah, and of course the editing, I have to say, it is of course cut up perfectly through some really great cuts they actually did by far, and I really do admire on what they actually accomplished to really make this look absolutely great for sure. And he even does match with the film's pacing at the same time, to which I also really do love and admire for sure. So yeah, I think with all those aspects that I can say, that just goes to show on how much I really enjoyed this movie all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, overall, Final Destination Bloodlines is an absolutely impressive and yet very engaging movie by horror for sure, and with everything that actually happened from beginning to end, I think they really did an incredible job with what they actually did for sure, to which makes it, in my opinion, not only pretty much of anything a really great horror movie all the way, but I dare even say this actually tops Final Destination 5 for sure. So yeah, and don't get me wrong, I do like that film fine for sure, pretty much in comparison to the other films that came out beforehand for sure. But I think this movie really does take the cake as being the best one by far, and I think with what they actually did, they really did an impressive job with, of course, what he has to do for sure. So yeah, it pretty much definitely kept true to, of course, the other Final Destination movies that came out beforehand for sure. But it also does manage to mix things up a bit to make it new and refreshing at the same time. And I really do think this movie really did an incredible job in doing exactly that for sure. So yeah, either way, I didn't know what I was getting myself into by the time I actually went in to see this movie as a whole, but I guess at the end of the day, I really do think this movie really did an incredible job with what he has to do, and yeah, I guess it does make it, in my opinion, definitely the best one in these movies by far. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, on that front, and yes, by the way, I do highly recommend this movie for what it is for sure. So yeah. I know that's saying a whole lot for sure, because, well, pretty much I compared back a couple of years ago when I talked about Saw X, and think it's definitely the best one out of all the Saw movies for sure. I can make the same argument for, of course, Final Destination Bloodlines for sure. This one is definitely the best one out of all these movies for sure, and I think it is definitely well worth checking out for sure. And well, much like our main characters for sure, I'm actually proud to say that I managed to, metaphorically speaking, cheat death for sure, and yeah. And I guess for what it is, I really do think this movie is well worth checking out for sure. So yeah, if you're like me and actually want to get yourself in for a Final Destination movie that is not only new and refreshing, but also very creative and exciting while staying true to the other films, then I guess it looks like my premonition is telling you that you're willing to cheat death to officially go and see this movie for yourself. And I do think that's what really matters by far. So yeah, it's that great. I enjoyed it all the way. I do think this movie is well worth checking out at the end of the day. So yeah, that's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yes, I'm definitely proud to say that I'm going to give Final Destination Bloodlines a very massive 9 out of 10 as my final score. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie for what it is, hands down, and yeah, this one definitely deserves the title as being the best one out of all these movies for sure. It's a brilliant film from beginning to end, and yeah, chances are you are going to successfully cheat death to actually see this one for yourself. It's well worth a recommendation on my part, and yeah, I think it's what I can say for that matter, hands down. So yeah. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Final Destination Bloodlines if you've actually seen it for sure? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it's a really great movie and definitely the best one out of all the Final Destinations? Yeah, out of all the Final Destination movies that came out beforehand, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time, and you prefer to sit through the other films that are much better to watch? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just okay from what you've actually seen? So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I would love to know on what you guys think. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and thank you guys so much for watching this latest thought. Wait, what just happened? Did I somehow get like a premonition or something? I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, like, oh my god. Oh my god! There's a fucking bomb underneath my chair! Yeah, it's gonna explode! Oh my god! I'm getting the hell out of here! Did it go off? Is it over? Well, I can't believe it! I actually cheated death for once! I know that's saying a whole lot, because given to the last thoughts videos I've actually done where I somehow die by a far, I actually did it! I cheated death! Wow! I can't believe I actually did it, and yeah, I guess I'm willing to bet that for next time I might actually die in a future thoughts video once again for sure. But it's okay, I always find a way to come back for sure, so yeah. Sorry about all that, folks. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I guess if anything, I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, what am I going to be talking about in the next thoughts video? Well, I actually have two that I'm actually currently slated to go see next weekend for sure, and I think I might as well take a page on what I actually did back in December last year for sure. So I guess for the next couple of thoughts videos that I'll do next weekend, we're not only going to be in for another mission, should I choose to accept it, but also pretty much get myself in pretty much another Disney live-action remake. Yeah, if those two hints couldn't give you pretty much an idea on what I could talk about in the next couple of thoughts videos, well, you're gonna have to tune in to see for yourself. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and until those two come around, as always, well, I'll see you in the next thoughts video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below.
Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I'm posting on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/Ackleyattack427's/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.